Part 66. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 651. Chapter 651. He seems to dislike her very much. Yes, he did not hang up the phone immediately. A low sigh came from the phone. I regret it now. What do you regret? The man's sigh seemed to be coming out against her ear. I regret why I have to be so considerate. I should be selfish and tie you to me and not allow you to go anywhere. That way when I miss you, I can see you right away. That's not okay. Knowing that he was joking, Xiao Mian also joked, what you did was illegal confinement and a violation of the law. I am willing to break the law for you. Mr. Mo Wei Zheng's voice sounded weakly again, everyone is waiting for you. Mo Yesi suddenly sneered, Wei Zheng, your assistant is quite competent. Mr. Mo, Baby, I'm going to go to the meeting first. Please be safe on the road and tell me when you get there. Good. Knowing that Mo Yesi was busy, Xiao Mian didn't say anything else and quickly hung up the phone. Asterisk. After picking up their luggage, Xiao Mian and Nana took a taxi to report to the hotel where the crew was staying. An hour later, we arrived at the hotel. The so-called reporting is registration. The first day is just reporting and registration, and the official shooting is on the second day. Xiao Mian left earlier. She was the first cast member to register. After she finished registering and came out, while waiting for the elevator, she met Tu Yuli, the male lead on the crew. When the elevator door opened and she saw Tu Yuli walking out of it, before she could react, she heard Nana next to her cover her mouth and scream. Ms. Xiao, we meet again. Tu Yuli also saw Xiao Mian standing outside the elevator, without any big name airs, and took the initiative to say hello to her. Xiao Mian raised her head and saw Tu Yuli's fresh and handsome face that looked like it could squeeze out water. After being stunned for a few seconds, she responded, Senior Tu, hello. Tu Yuli. Didn't I tell you that you don't need to call me senior? We should be about the same age. If you call me senior, it will make me feel like I am very old. But if I call you by your name directly, I will feel disrespectful to you. In that case, shall I call you Mr. Tu? Tu Yuli was stunned for a moment, then smiled helplessly, whatever. Little Tutu, it's getting late. You have to meet an advertiser later, so hurry up and register and leave the agent next to Tu Yuli. I glanced at Xiao Mian as if to guard against thieves, and then twisted his body, walked up to Tu Yuli and almost blocked his entire body. Although his little Tutu said he didn't like this little girl named Xiao. However, he still had to be careful. This girl's face is so eye-catching. Even if Xiao Tutu really doesn't like her now, there's no telling whether he will like her in the future. His little Tutu is on the rise in his career. Don't be affected by such sentimental things. Women who are too beautiful should not be allowed to have too much contact with Xiao Tutu. Xiao Mian looked at the agent's actions and felt a little speechless. Tu Yuli's agent seemed to dislike her very much. Last time, I was also afraid that she would use Tu Yuli as a hype, and I was just as guarded against her as anything else. This time it's like this again. She looks like the kind of scheming woman who likes to ride on other people's enthusiasm. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 652. Chapter 652. She never thought of deliberately approaching him. However, she then thought about the fact that Tu Yuli was forced to work for CP by many female artists during this period. For example, she just saw an entertainment news piece a few days ago. She is a female artist who appeared on a variety show with Tu Yuli. During the variety show, the two had some exchanges. But overall, there is not much communication. However, her fans forced her to apply various love filters and deliberately edited out many so-called sweet interactions. Although Tuyuli did not become popular through the idol route, he is one of the most trafficked young people in the entertainment industry today and has a lot of fans from his wife and girlfriend. Of course, they can't stand the female artist's fans forcibly hyping up their brother Yuli's CP. So, a large number of graffiti rushed to the female artist's Weibo to scold her. Scorched her bloody. He also made the person scolded and became a hot search topic. That female artist actually became famous in this way. It has been in the top 10 of the hot search list for 3 consecutive days. Before this, other female artists also used this trick. Deliberately stir up CP, take advantage of Yuli's popularity, and try to become famous in this way. Even if it's black and red, it's still red. Better than obscurity. It is estimated that Yuli's manager is afraid of the popularity of these female artists. So when I saw a female artist approaching Tuyuli, I instinctively felt that she was here to take advantage of his artist's popularity. Thinking of this, Chiao Mian felt less depressed. Since the other party has such concerns, then she should have less contact with Tuyuli. Originally, a male artist of Tuyuli's stature is not on the same level as her. She didn't even think about approaching him deliberately. Mr. Tu, since you are very busy, I won't delay you. I also have to go back to pack my luggage, so we'll leave first. Goodbye. Chiao Mian was afraid that Tuyuli's manager would think that she wanted to take advantage of the heat. After saying this, before Tuyuli could respond, she pulled Nana and walked past him. Sister Mian, please wait a moment. Nana was dragged into the elevator by her eyes still looking straight at Tuyuli outside the elevator, and she said a little anxiously, Sister Mian, I want to go and get an autograph. You, don't leave in a hurry, wait for me a while. The elevator is about to close. Nana immediately pressed the door open button, and as soon as the elevator door opened, she rushed out as fast as the wind. Chiao Mian saw her rushing up to Tuyuli, taking off her backpack and taking out a pen and a notebook. Then she blushed and asked Tuyuli if he could sign her autograph. Tuyuli was stunned for a few seconds, then he took the pen and notebook from her with a smile and quickly signed his name. After signing, he handed the notebook back to Nana. Nana took it, held his signature and looked at it again and again, smiling so hard that her eyes narrowed into slits. You can see how happy I am. She held the notebook and ran back happily. Sister Mian, look, Tuyuli signed an autograph for me and also gave me a blessing. Nana handed the notebook to Chiao Mian like a treasure. Wow, he is so approachable, he doesn't have any airs at all. No. And the handwriting is also beautiful, just like his person. Now I finally know why he is so popular. He is so handsome, has a good temper, and doesn't have the airs of a big-name star. If such a person is not popular, it is absolutely unacceptable. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 653. Chapter 653 Special Care for Her. I'm going to find someone to frame the signature and keep it. I'll take it out and read it every day before going to bed. I'm sure I'll sleep very soundly. Chiao Mian. Sister Mian, you don't understand the psychology of us little fans. You don't know how excited I was when I first saw him, my heart almost jumped out. I really like Tuyuli, you think he's very handsome? Oh, by the way, I forgot that your boyfriend is also super handsome. No wonder you didn't react at all when you saw Tuyuli. You must have developed immunity by seeing your boyfriend who is so handsome every day. To be honest, although I am a fan of Tuyuli, I think your boyfriend is more manly. Tuyuli seems, too little boy. Well, how should I put it, Tuyuli's type is suitable for dating, and your boyfriend is suitable for dating and marriage. However, Although Tuyuli is a nice person, his agent is not very likable. When I went over to ask Tuyuli for an autograph just now, his agent wanted to block me. The elevator door slowly closed. Listening to Nana chattering in her ear, Chiao Mian thought about it and couldn't help but remind her, Nana, if nothing happens in the future, you better not go to Tuyuli. He probably won't mind, but his agent definitely doesn't like us going to him. Why? Nana blinked, can't we communicate normally? Chiao Mian thought about it again and said tactfully, I am still a relatively unknown artist, but he is already very popular. If you go to him often, others will gossip about you. Besides, his fans are not easy to mess with. I don't want to cause trouble. Nana soon understood. I understand, Sister Mian, she nodded, no wonder his agent wants to stop me. Does he think we want to take advantage of Yuli's popularity? Sister Mian, you are not this kind of person. You can't blame him. There are indeed a lot of female artists who are following Yuli's popularity. He must be afraid anyway. There will be nothing going on in the future, so just have less contact with her. Asterisk. The room arranged by the crew is at the hotel where we registered. It is a 5-star hotel. I have to say that the crew is very generous. A business suite was arranged for Chiao Mian, a 2-suite suite. She and Nana each had a room. The environment of the suite is also very good. And the hotel is close to the sea. The room Chiao Mian lives in is on the 28th floor. It has a large floor-to-ceiling window. Standing by the window, you can see the sea view not far away. Wow, the room is great, Nana exclaimed in surprise when she opened the door and walked in. It's a suite. Is this room really just for the two of us? This is too luxurious. Generally, a business suite like this must be at least of the size that only a second female protagonist can have. The third female lead like Chiao Mian should not live in such a nice room. Chiao Mian also knows this very well. She can live in a business suite because Yan Shaoqing must have already greeted Bai Yisheng. This is Bai Yisheng's special care for her. Chiao Mian was not pretentious in this regard. She did not ask to change rooms just because she was afraid of being accused of going through the back door or something. A business suite is definitely much more comfortable than an ordinary room. She will be filming here for another 3 months. Filming is inherently hard work. If the accommodation conditions were not good, God knows how difficult it would be. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 654. Chapter 654. It's good to be a related household. She wants to live more comfortably. She doesn't live in the presidential suite anyway. Not many people should notice this. Wow, you can also see the sea view from here, it's great. After Nana entered the room and put her suitcase away, she went around to look at the furnishings in the room. She threw herself on the soft big bed, hugged the pillow and said with a smile, this bed is so big and soft. It's great. I've been able to sleep well these past few months. The crew is so conscientious and honest, I thought we were staying in an ordinary standard room. Chiao Mian pursed her lips and said nothing. Without Bai Yisheng's special care, she would have lived in an ordinary standard room. At this time, she felt that it was good to be a Guangzai household. Sister Mian, should we pack things first or eat first? Nana rolled around on the bed a few times holding the pillow, then slowly sat up. Just as Chiao Mian was about to answer her, her WeChat message dinged. She opened it and saw that it was a WeChat message sent to her by Mo Yesi. Have you arrived at your place of residence? Have you eaten? Be sure to remember to eat and don't go hungry. She stared at WeChat for a while, and the corners of her lips couldn't help but rise. Her heart felt as sweet as honey. It feels so good to be remembered by others. She thought for a while and quickly replied. She had just arrived at the hotel room and put her luggage away, ready to go out for dinner. And you? Mo Yesi replied instantly, I'm also going to eat. How is the environment where you live? Are you satisfied? Chiao Mian, I am very satisfied. The business suite that the crew arranged for us is located next to the sea, and we can see the sea view at any time. Did you ask Yan Shaoqing to arrange this? Mo Yesi, well, you have to live better when you go out. If I wasn't afraid that the arrangement would be too good and it would have a bad impact on you, I would have arranged a presidential suite for you. Chiao Mian, no, it's just fine as it is now. Mo Yesi, it's almost 1 o'clock, let's go eat. Chiao Mian, okay, then I'm going to eat. By the way, what are you having for lunch? Mo Yesi, I don't know yet, what do you eat? Chiao Mian thought for a while and replied, I don't know. Let's take a look when we get downstairs later. Mo Yesi, okay, before you eat later, take a photo for me so I can see what you are eating. Chiao Mian, okay, then you can also take a photo for me, and I want to see what you eat. Mo Yesi, okay. Asterisk. Arrived downstairs. Chiao Mian and Nana searched around and found a snail noodle shop. Both of them like to eat snail noodles, and they hit it off quickly and decided to have snail noodles for lunch. As soon as I walked into the store, a not so pleasant smell wafted over me. Nana took a deep breath and said with an intoxicated look on her face, I haven't eaten snail noodles for a long time, and I'm greedy when I smell this smell. I will ask the boss to add more pickled bamboo shoots for me in a while. I like to eat snail noodles the most. There are sour bamboo shoots in it. The two of them found a place to sit down. One person ordered a family photo set meal from the store. There are so many side dishes in the family portrait. It's all what they like to eat. After waiting for a while, the clerk came out carrying 2 oversized bowls. After putting it on the table, Nana couldn't wait to pick up the chopsticks, take a handful of the powder, and then let out a satisfied sigh. It tastes like this, it's delicious. Chiao Mian thought about what she had promised Mo Yesi before, so she picked up her phone and took a photo and sent it to him. After waiting for a few seconds, Mo Yesi replied, what is this? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 655. Chapter 655 Mr. Mo. Are you really sure you want to eat it? Chiao Mian picked up a braised egg, took a bite, and replied, snail noodles, super delicious. Asterisk. The other side. Mo Yesi, who was still waiting for Wei Zheng to come back with the takeout, saw the message from Chiao Mian and dialed Wei Zheng's number the next second. Hello, Mr. Mo. The previous takeout is cancelled. You go and buy a piece of snail noodles right now. I will eat snail noodles for lunch today. My wife said it's super delicious, it must be delicious. On the phone, Wei Zheng didn't know whether he didn't hear what he said clearly or was surprised, so he didn't say anything for a while. Just when Mo Yesi's patience was about to run out, Wei Zheng's trembling voice rang out again, Mr. Mo, did you just say that you wanted to eat snail noodles? Is there a problem? Don't tell me, you can't buy it. Mo Yesi's voice deepened, showing obvious displeasure. Of course not, Wei Zheng immediately replied, but, Mr. Mo, are you sure you want to eat snail noodles? Do you know what it is? How? That stuff might taste a little weird. If you haven't eaten it, Mr. Mo, I'm worried that, you won't be used to it. Moreover, it will also make your office have a very strange smell permeating it for a long time. Mr. Mo. Are you really sure you want to eat it? Half an hour later. Wei Zheng came back with a bag of snail noodles. He knocked on the office door, and after receiving permission, opened the door and walked in. As soon as he walked inside, he saw his boss, Mo, holding a mobile phone and staring at the screen of the phone very intently. At first glance, he is chatting with someone. As for who the chat partner is, you can guess it with your toes. Furthermore, he guessed that Mr. Mo's sudden abnormality today and his request to eat snail noodles probably had something to do with the person he was chatting with. He has been following Mr. Mo for several years. I have never seen Mr. Mo eat any snail noodles. His boss Mo probably doesn't even know what snail noodles are. In order to keep up with my daughter-in-law, I have to work hard. He felt that if Mr. Mo asked him to buy stinky tofu fried skewers or something one day, he wouldn't be too surprised. Mr. Mo, this is the snail noodles you want. Wei Zheng took out the box and put it on his desk. Before going out, he glanced at the box of snail noodles on the table, with a look on his face that he was hesitant to speak. Should he remind Mr. Mo again? As a qualified and competent assistant, he felt that he should remind him again. Mo Yesi raised his eyes and looked at him. Just say what you want to say. Well, Mr. Mo, Wei Zheng pointed to the box on the table and said as euphemistically as possible, the moment you open the box, you may smell a strange smell. I think, how about you still? Get out. Before he could finish speaking, Mo Yesi coldly issued an order to expel the guests. Wei Zheng. Okay, Mr. Mo, I'll go out first. If you have anything else to do, please tell me. Before Wei Zheng left, he silently glanced at the well-sealed box of snail noodles on the table. He imagined what Mr. Mo's expression would be like when he opened the box. He has eaten snail noodles before. The taste is good, quite delicious. That smell is very strong. Last time he cooked a bag at home, and then his next-door neighbor knocked on his door and asked if his toilet had exploded. What's even worse is that the smell still lingers for a long time, and it hasn't gone away until the next day. Wei Zheng originally thought that his family would never be used to eating Mo. I'm sure I can't get used to the smell. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 656. Chapter 656. Mr. Mo, isn't this difficult to operate? After he left the office, he stood outside. He felt that before long, President Mo would definitely let him in and ask him to take out the bowl of snail noodles and throw it away. He has already made such preparations. But after waiting for more than 10 minutes, he still didn't receive a call from his boss, Mr. Mo. Just when Wei Zheng was beginning to doubt his life, his cell phone finally rang. He took it out and saw that it was a message sent to him by Mo Yesi, asking him to go to the mall and buy a set of clothes. Asterisk. Half an hour later, Wei Zheng came back from buying clothes and knocked on the office door. As soon as I walked in, I smelled a familiar smell of honey. At the same time, the door to the lounge opened, and Mo Yesi walked out wearing a bath towel and stretched out a hand towards him. Wei Zheng immediately handed over the bag of clothes. He glanced at the lunch box on the desk with his peripheral vision, and when he found that there was only a little bit of snail noodles left in it, he doubted his life again. Mr. Mo actually ate that portion of snail noodles. Moreover, I ate so much. He couldn't suppress his curiosity at all and couldn't help but ask, Mr. Mo, do you think the snail noodles are delicious? Well, it tastes pretty good. Mo Yesi untied the bath towel, took out the black shirt from the bag and put it on. He pinched the buttons with his slender fingers and tied them one by one. It's just a little spicy. Next time, ask the boss to be less spicy. Put some chili. Wei Zheng. He refused to give up. Don't you think the taste is strange? Of course it's strange. Mo Yesi put on his shirt, raised his head, his cold eyes fell on him, and his eyes narrowed. So your next task is to eliminate the smell in the office. Lose. Wei Zheng. The corner of his mouth twitched. Mr. Mo, Isn't this difficult to operate? Last time he wanted to get rid of the bad smell at home. Have tried many methods, but none of them worked. Mo Yesi narrowed his eyes again. Oh, really? Wei Zheng, no, no, I just thought about it, and it's actually quite easy to operate. Don't worry, Mr. Mo, I will complete the task and ensure that your office will have a fresh and pleasant environment. Mo Yesi changed his clothes, picked up the mobile phone on the table, turned and walked out, move all my files and computer to the next room. As I walked to the door of the office, my cell phone rang. He clicked on the screen, which displayed. My baby, how is it? Is it delicious? The man's thin lips slowly raised, revealing a doting smile. He tapped his finger on the screen and typed 3 words, well, delicious. My baby, do you think it tastes good too? Really, you didn't lie to me? Mo Yesi, I didn't lie to you, I ate them all. My baby, there is a restaurant in Yunchinj that makes snail noodles with super authentic taste, just by the back door of our school. When I come back, I'll take you to eat. Mo Yesi, okay. My dear, then we have made an agreement. Mo Yesi, okay. Asterisk. On the first night after arriving in City F, Chiao Mian and Mo Yesi spent the whole night stringing wheat. When she opened her eyes the next morning, it showed that the two people had been talking to each other for 9 hours. Because Mo Yesi was there to coax her to sleep, she didn't suffer from insomnia because she moved to a strange place. She slept soundly throughout the night. Wake up and feel full of energy. After she got up, she sent Mo Yesi a good morning message and went to the bathroom to wash up. The hotel prepares breakfast. Snail noodles are really delicious, but the taste is a bit weird. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 657. Chapter 657 Shaved by Yasheng. Chiao Mian quickly packed up, and after having breakfast downstairs with Nana, she followed the other crew members and took the cruise car to the filming base. A-list artists like Tu Yuli and others all have their own nanny vans. There is no need to ride with them in the same car. The second and third tier artists basically all have nanny cars. Only newcomers like Chiao Mian, who is not well known, will ride in the same car as the crew. Most of the staff are men. When I suddenly saw such a beautiful girl sitting in the car, I couldn't help but take a second look. Some young guys even blushed. Since they are in this line of work, they naturally see many handsome men and beautiful women. However, it's rare to see many little girls who look so watery and fairy-like. Moreover, this little girl looks natural at first glance, with no movement on her face. Any face that has been moved will always look a little unnatural. For example, this time the female number 1 is Huang Yilin. Huang Yilin is beautiful because she had a knife on her face, so even though she looks good on camera, she looks a bit unnatural in reality. In terms of looks, the little girl in front of me is definitely prettier than Huang Yilin. It's just that the casting is not based on the face. The face will play a certain factor, but the most important factor is definitely not the face. Huang Yilin's face is a little stiff, but her acting skills are good and she is famous. An hour later, we arrived at the filming base. The shooting base was on a beach. As soon as Chiao Mian got out of the car, she saw a nanny car stopping in front of them. First a person got out with an umbrella, and then another person got out with a water glass and a bag. Sister Mian, that's Huang Yilin. Nana looked at the last woman coming out of the car, her eyes lit up, and she lowered her voice and said, Huang Yilin is the most popular little girl now. She is so young and has already won a Best Actress award. Among the artists in the same batch it can be said to be very good. She is pretty, but I feel like her face doesn't look as natural as before. Keep your voice down. Chiao Mian was also looking at Huang Yilin. She also said in a low voice, Don't let them hear me. Huang Yilin doesn't look as beautiful in person as in the photos. But he is also pretty good looking. Her appearance is that of a standard beauty. She is tall and fair-skinned. She is wearing a tight red skirt that shows off her figure. Probably because she was afraid of getting burned, she wore a silver-gray sun protection garment outside her red dress. He also wore a large sunproof fisherman's hat on his head. An assistant held an umbrella and raised it above her head to block the dazzling sunlight. Another assistant opened the cup in his hand, handed it to her, and said respectfully, "Sister Yilin, drink some water." Huang Yilin took it and took a lazy sip. I don't know if it was because she didn't sleep well, but she didn't seem to be in very good spirits, and there was a sense of laziness all over her body. Suddenly, her eyes lit up. A glimmer of light flashed in her eyes that had been dull just now, and she looked in a certain direction with excitement. Xiao Mian and Nana also followed her gaze. When they saw a man getting out of another black Maybach parked not far away, they immediately understood why Huang Yilin was suddenly so excited. The man who got off the Maybach is Bai Yusheng. Still the shaved Bai Yusheng. Happy weekend, babies. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 658. Chapter 658 Tisk, it's really tempting. Xiao Mian almost didn't recognize the person. On the day of her interview, Bai Yusheng didn't shave, and he was completely different from the one he shaved now. Without the beard, he looked at least 6 or 7 years younger. When you have a beard, you look much more mature. He now looks a bit like a young man. If she hadn't known his identity, Xiao Mian would have thought he was a male artist hired by the crew. After all, Bai Yusheng's appearance is definitely the best among the directors in the entertainment industry. It's okay to make a debut. As soon as Bai Yusheng got off the car, not only Huang Yilin's eyes lit up, but also Xiao Mian's eyes lit up when she saw all the actresses on the crew, including other female staff members. Huang Yilin didn't even care about being exposed to the sun. She walked out from under the umbrella, stepped on a pair of 10-centimeter high red high heels, and walked quickly towards Bai Yusheng. There were a few female artists who were closer to Bai Yusheng and wanted to go over and say hello to Bai Yusheng. But as soon as they saw Huang Yilin approaching, all the female artists took a step back. As if he was afraid of something. Seeing this scene, Nana opened her eyes wide and sighed in a low voice, "Sister Mian, have you seen that they all seem to be afraid of Huang Yilin? Doesn't Huang Yilin have a bad temper? Isn't it said that she has a good personality and is very down to earth? Don't you have any airs?" Xiao Mian also saw it. After being silent for a few seconds, she said thoughtfully, "It's probably because Huang Yilin's status is relatively high. Is this an act of respecting the seniors?" Really, Nana looked at Huang Yilin, who had walked up to Bai Yusheng, thought for a while, nodded, "Maybe. But, Sister Mian, is that Director Bai? Is he so young and handsome?" "Well, that's Director Bai. He's too young. He looks like a young man with his looks. He could be the male lead on the set." Nana stared at Huang Yilin for a few seconds, rolled her eyes, and suddenly lowered her voice and said, "No wonder Huang Yilin was so excited." She went over as soon as she saw Director Bai coming. "I heard that Director Bai is the second generation of rich people and his family is rich. Money, filming is purely a hobby. He is the kind of person who is forced to go home and inherit hundreds of billions of assets if he doesn't make a good film, and he is so handsome. Tisk, it's really tempting. I guess all the female artists in the entertainment industry want to win him over." Xiao Mian. She found that Nana and Zhongluli were really similar. Not only are they the same Yanggu, but they also have the same gossip. However, Huang Yilin's reaction just now seemed a bit too obvious. Xiao Mian watched Huang Yilin walk over, and greeted Bai Yusheng with a bright smile. Bai Yusheng nodded, and the two said a few more words. Bai Yusheng suddenly raised his head and looked directly at Jiao Mian. Jiao Mian is looking at him and Huang Yilin. As soon as Bai Yusheng raised his eyes, Jiao Mian's eyes met his. The moment their eyes met, Jiao Mian was stunned for a few seconds. She saw that Bai Yusheng had seen her, and when she was hesitating whether to go over to say hello, Bai Yusheng actually walked towards her. Under the surprised and astonished gazes of others, he walked straight to Jiao Mian, and then took the initiative to say hello to her. Did you have a good rest last night? Did you come here in the cruise car today? Jiao Mian suddenly opened her eyes wide. Nana beside her also opened her eyes in surprise. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 659. Chapter 659. She is just a yellow-haired girl, very young. When the people around him heard these two questions he asked, their jaws almost dropped to the ground in surprise. What is going on? What is the relationship between this newbie and Director Bai? Director Bai not only came over to greet her, but even though the two sentences just sounded ordinary and nothing special, they seemed like a conversation between acquaintances. Still a good acquaintance. Bai Dao just talked to Huang Yilin, but they were not so casual. Originally, because Jiao Mian was a newcomer, not many people paid much attention to her. As soon as Bai Yusheng greeted him, everyone present began to secretly guess what the relationship between the two was. There are also many people who are secretly paying attention to Jiao Mian. Not far behind, Huang Yilin had a stunned expression at first. After a few seconds, her face darkened and she looked at Jiao Mian with a cold look in her eyes. When she saw Jiao Mian's face clearly, she was stunned for a few seconds, and her face became increasingly ugly. She bit her lips, dug her nails into her palms, turned her head, and asked the assistant holding the umbrella next to her with an ugly expression, "Who is that woman? Is she a friend of Director Bai?" She didn't even notice it just now. The assistant also glanced at Jiao Mian, then shook his head and whispered, "I don't know her. It seems that she and Director Bai have a good relationship. If Director Bai can take the initiative to say hello, it must be someone with whom she is relatively familiar." Huang Yilin suddenly felt an inexplicable sense of crisis. She bit her lip, frowned, and turned her head to look at Jiao Mian again. His eyes fell on that delicate and beautiful white face without a single flaw, and his brows couldn't help but wrinkle more and more tightly, and the sense of crisis became stronger and stronger. She asked a little irritably, "What do you think that woman looks like?" The assistant has been following Huang Yilin for several years. Of course she knows what she thinks about Bai Yusheng. Hearing her question, the assistant was stunned for a moment, turned his head and looked at her face. After hesitating for a few seconds, he replied thoughtfully, "It's not bad, she looks pretty good. But compared to Sister Yilin, she's still not good far." Huang Yilin's gloomy expression softened slightly after hearing these words. "But his face still doesn't look good." She looked at Jiao Mian's shiny white skin and couldn't help feeling jealous. "Really? But I think she's quite good looking, and Director Bai seems to like her too. How is it possible? She looks like she is underage and has no femininity at all. How could Director Bai like that kind of yellow-haired girl?" The assistant thought that the little girl was indeed very beautiful, so beautiful that it dazzled her eyes. Although she looks young, she is not the yellow-haired girl with no feminine charm at all, as he said. He just took a look, and his heartbeat has not calmed down yet. At that glance, he thought he saw his first love. A girl he had a crush on when he was in high school. This little girl is much more beautiful and pure than the goddess he has a crush on. Absolutely a style that straight men like. but he did not dare to say these words. If he wants to say that the girl is very beautiful, Huang Yilin will definitely tell him to get out immediately. That's right, Huang Yilin finally had a smile on her face and sneered with her lips curled up, she's just a yellow-haired girl, and she's still very young. Not enough to be her opponent at all. She didn't know what happened just now, but she actually felt threatened. Men like Bai Yusheng like mature and women. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 660. Chapter 660, is this because I have a crush on him? That kind of immature little girl, even if she looks a bit pretty, is not his cup of tea. She has no need to worry at all. But she still had to find out the relationship between that little girl and Bai Yusheng. Otherwise, I will never feel at ease. Qiao Mian had no idea that in just 1 minute, she had been listed as a potential love rival by Huang Yilin. Then in another minute, he was removed from the list of potential love rivals. Thank you, Director Bai, for your concern. I slept very well last night. I came here on the cruise bus today after being stunned for a few seconds. Qiao Mian came to her senses, took a deep breath, and tried to ignore the meaningful people around her. Looking at him, he replied calmly. Bai Yusheng nodded, that's good. But you can come here in my car in the future. Give me a call before you leave, and I'll take you to the set. Oh, I forgot, you don't have my contact information yet. Bai Yusheng took out his cell phone and said to Qiao Mian as the people around him looked at her in more and more astonishment, give me your cell phone number and I'll call you. Qiao Mian heard a gasp. Even she herself opened her eyes in shock. Huang Yilin, who had already let down his guard against her and didn't take her seriously, turned gloomy the moment he heard Bai Yusheng ask for her contact information. It is as ugly as it is ugly. Others looked at Qiao Mian with meaningful eyes. They all overturned some of their previous guesses and re-evaluated the relationship between the two. It turned out that this newbie didn't have Director Bai's contact information. Then, they are definitely not close friends. If you are a friend, how could you not even have contact information? If he wasn't a friend, Director Bai's series of operations would look like he had fallen in love with this newbie. Talk the initiative to say hello and ask for contact information. This is just because you have a crush on others. Ouch. This newcomer is so lucky. He was actually noticed by Director Bai. A top-quality man like Director Bai is one of the favorites of female artists in the entertainment industry. However, Director Bai is a man with emotional misophobia and extremely high vision. There are not any female artists who want to hug him. Successful. There are countless female artists who take the initiative to knock on the door of Bai Dao's room and ask for hidden rules. All were rejected. I heard that even the international actress Miss Cheng took the initiative to hook up with him, just asking to have a romantic relationship with him, but he rejected her. That is quite a beautiful thing. It turns out that what Director Bai likes is this innocent type of actress. No wonder he refused to Miss Cheng. Cheng Mei is beautiful, but she is a type of beauty, not pure. Female artists in the entertainment industry know what it means to be liked by Bai Yusheng. This is simply like embracing a golden thigh leading to Yangguan Avenue. The female artists present were envious, and jealous. More so, it's with a mentality of watching a good show. After all, who doesn't know Huang Yilin's thoughts? Although she did not pursue Bai Yusheng explicitly, she did not hide her feelings for Bai Yusheng. I'm just afraid. This newbie has been targeted by Huang Yilin. Not necessarily, life will be easier in the future. With Bai Yusheng's status, even if he really likes this newbie, how long can he like her? End of this chapter.